How strength training works. Hello and welcome back, it's Christian, and today I want to talk to you about how strength training works, where it originates from, and what are the important things we need to consider when we work on strength. Yeah, so stay tuned. How strength training works. Again, we need to go back in history to understand a little bit where it originates from. And 2,500 years ago, there was an incredible wrestler. His name was Milos of Crotona. And he was an ancient Olympian and he won 6 Olympic titles. Actually, he won 1 as a junior. And then the next year he started winning the men's title and reproduced that for the next 4 years. So 1 as a junior and then 5 Olympic titles. Similar to my boy Nikaman, who was junior world champion in BMX in 2014 and then became senior world champion in 2015. A big shout out to Nikaman here. But let's get back to Milos and the idea what strength training is and how it works. So basically Milos was very known for his incredible amounts of power and strength. And how did he do it? Ever since he was a young boy, he said he wants to be the strongest man on earth. And he came up with a very simple strategy, and that was, he said to himself, every day I'm going to lift a small calf. And that was his training. And what happened over time? The calf grew into a full-blown bull. And because he lifted that calf every day, so he lifted consecutively heavier and heavier and heavier loads. So at some point he was able to lift a full bull. Yeah? So this is the idea of strength training and how it works. We start with the load that is not that challenging, let's say, and over time we increase loads until we get to serious weights where we really get stronger from. Yeah? So a quick recap here. Milos started with a low load, that was the small calf, and he lifted it every day, and every day he lifted a little bit more load until he lifted a full bull. And this is actually how our strength training works as well. We start with a certain load and over time we gradually increase. Important here is to understand that we don't do it every day, and that will be topic of later videos how we do it. But basically the idea, and that is one of the most fundamental principles in strength training, that we need to progressively increase the loads. Yeah? Also, one of the next videos we talk about technique first. Once we've mastered the techniques, we can look at increasing loads. Yeah? So Milos did it right, so let's follow Milos' example. In our last video we already spoke about different modes of resistance training, so that resistance training is not only free weights or machines or anything. We have different modes and tools we can use, and I just wanted to introduce a few to you. So these are not exclusive and this might be for few of you already known, but let's start. So we can use barbells as an external resistance, we can use dumbbells, we can use kettlebells. We have medicine balls. Didn't get a medicine ball yet, but anyway, so we have aqua bags, that's very similar. Yeah, so there's water in it, so which also increases resistance and challenges stability. But we also have such things as resistance bands, and these can be attached to a bar, for example, but it can also be used to support. Yeah? So for example, as I said, it's the ability to overcome resistance. So in the start, a lot of athletes are not really able to do their own body weight. So that way we can support their body weight, that they don't have to lift their whole body weight, that they just lift a portion of their body weight. So the way it works, you can, for example, wrap it around a pull-up bar, let the athlete come in here, and then the body weight is supported in pulling up. Yeah? But we can also use it the other way around, and I'll make a video on that to show you how it works. We can wrap it around the bar and attach it to the ground. So once the bar goes up, the resistance band stretches. It's called accommodating resistance. The resistance cord stretches, and the load gets heavier and heavier on the way up. The idea behind that is that there are certain exercises that have a so-called ascending strength curve, which means, for example, bench press. Most of the times it's most difficult at the bottom, and the more you go up, the lighter it gets. So if you're using any kind of resistance bands, that helps to counter this effect. Yeah? Okay, similar to the resistance bands, we can also use chains as accommodating resistance, and the theory is the same. So if you go down, each segment of the chain will touch the ground and the resistance become lighter and lighter. And on the way up, the stronger you get, the more chains or the more compartments of the chains come up, and you have to lift heavier loads.